Hi, I'm Kate Ahern, the Sangoma, and you're very welcome to the Sangoma TV. This is the first video of 3 videos in which we'll be exploring the notion of you as an energetic being as opposed to just a physical being. And also we'll be exploring energy in our thoughts and also energy in our emotions. So, when I talk about energy, what comes into your head? And you might say, well, I never use my energy. But in fact, I'm going to show you examples in which you might be using your energy. And one of those would be when you come into a room and you pick up a vibe off somebody. So a vibe is another form of energy called a vibration. And on a personal level then, if you ever had butterflies in your tummy before an exam or before an interview, that's again, you're using energy in an energy center there. If you ever had a pain in your heart through grief or upset, or if you had an uplifted heart when you're in love, that's your another heart center. And moving up then, if you ever had a lump in your throat when you found it difficult to say something to somebody, that's also another energy center. So we actually have 7 energy centers that we're going to be exploring over the next 7 weeks. So you'll be getting to know and understand them a little bit more and about the role that they play in your life. And when we start talking about energy, we start at the very beginning. So I've been very lucky in my work through being a midwife that I actually saw babies coming into the world. And also as my work as a nurse, I also saw people leaving this world. So I always had a keen interest in energy and spirit, and I wanted to know where it all began. So through years of studying and reading up on lots of things, I came up with a method called the Sangoma way, in which I teach people how to understand a little bit about what makes them tick. So when we talk about energy, we are going to begin at the beginning, and that's a conception. So when the sperm meets the ova and these 2 cells meet, they start to form another clump of cells, and eventually what that clump of cells then forms is a heart. So as early as 5 to 6 weeks, a lady could go for a scan and see the little heartbeat there. And scientists are now beginning to realize that we actually have more neurons in our heart than we have in our brain. And at this early stage, yes, there's a little bit of the brain there, but it's quite rudimentary and a small little bit of a spinal cord. But it's actually the heartbeat that is sending a message out to the little growing fetus and giving it the message to grow. And there's a point in the heart called the pacemaker, and the pacemaker sends a little electrical charge to the heart. It tells the heart to beat. The heart beats then and sends a message to every single cell in the body. But not only does it send it to the cells in the body, because it's an electrical beat, it sets up an electrical magnetic field. So it's also sending a vibe or a wave outside of our body. So this is where we get what we call the aura. Okay? So your aura is something outside of your body, and it's also called the emotional body. So it's where emotions can sit. And it's now been proven that there's actually 7 major energy centers sitting on 7 major endocrine organs in the body. Now this all sounds very technical, but when we go over this in the next few weeks, you'll get an understanding of how this applies to you on a personal level. And on this notion of an electricity, modern medicine recognizes that if the heart stops to beat, what does it do? It gets an electrical charge. Also, if they want to read the heart, they put an ECG, electrocardiograph, and they read the electrical rhythm of the heart. Also, there are electrical waves in the brain, so we read the brain waves with an EEG. So modern medicine recognizes that we're electrical, or we are energy fields. So what happens then in times of stress is that this is lovely working when we're in sync or in flow or we're calm. And what happens then is when we go out and become stressed, we lose this lovely rhythm and we go out of sync. So when we're out of sync, there's a lack of ease in the body, which leads to disease. And it's now been proven that 80% of all known disease is caused by stress. So wouldn't it be nice to understand where that all stems from and having an understanding of yourself in order to reduce stress in your life? So we're going to focus today on the very first, or root chakra, which is a chakra is another name for a spinning wheel. And the root chakra is the first center of energy that we're going to focus on, and that's got to do with the adrenal glands in your body. So on a physical level, these two glands sit on your kidneys, and when you need to run out of a field, if there was a bull chasing you, well, that's the adrenaline that's pumped through your body to give you that sense of fight or flight. So we need adrenaline in our body. However, if we're in a state of stress where we're sitting in one spot and it's our thoughts or our emotions that are causing stress in our body, and we've no way of burning that off, and that adrenaline is pumping around in the body, well, then that leads to disease or lack of ease. So in order to bring about a focus for you this week, we're going to focus on your root chakra. So this guy here, and this has got to do with the consciousness of safety and security. So issues around money, issues around the roof over your head, issues around the food on the table, based on the notion of, am I safe and secure? So a lot of us are driven by fear of not feeling safe. So if we focus on our root chakra, we're talking about our feet, our legs, up to our pubic area. And the colour we're going to focus on here is the colour red. So wearing a colour red can actually help to bring around that notion of grounding or rooting yourself. The notion of the tree who has strong roots will grow to be strong. Again, that would apply to ourselves. If we're up in our head and very busy, well, then bringing our attention down to our feet will actually take us out of our head and bring us down to where there should be. And next we'll be exploring this notion a little bit further around thoughts and energy and how we can pull them back into where they belong, and then propel us onto a life or a better direction, one of purpose and one that is going to make our life more fulfilling. So I look forward to seeing you. I'll talk to you then. Bye.